Hi guys, you've no doubt heard the old expression, damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is certainly the case with asylum seekers working to either improve their lives a little, or just to have some extra cash to buy things they want or need. Richard Tice, the head of Reform UK, claims on Reform UK friendly GB News that he and the Mail on Sunday have been conducting an investigation into asylum seekers working. Under UK law, anyone seeking asylum is not permitted to take up paid employment. There may be some exceptions, but generally asylum seekers can't work. The situation may change when you're granted refugee status. Anyway, Richard is angry that asylum seekers are using their initiative to work and provide services to the public. Have a listen to this.
So this is an investigation that actually I've been working on with the Mail on Sunday. I discovered that there's a reason why many of the migrant hotels are empty during the day, because they're going to work. Now, many might say, well, that's a good thing, but are they paying any tax? No, what's happening is they are renting for between £50 to £70 a week cash accounts from British people who've got Deliveroo, Just Eat, Uber Eat type accounts, and then carrying out delivery work on bicycles and things, and earning themselves very, very good money. So those of you who use these delivery companies, I've never actually used one, about 40 to 50% of the time, the person you're told will deliver your request is not the person who actually delivers it. And most people don't look, you're just so grateful to get your pizza
so
or your delivery.
Is it a little arrangement between the person who should be delivering? So it's an arrangement
between the person with the official account, and they are basically renting it. If you go onto Facebook or all sorts of other things, you can rent these accounts for 50 to 70 quid. But if you can legally get an account, if you're qualified, lawfully working, that costs you nothing, why would you pay someone 50 to 70 pounds a week in order to use someone else's account? There can be only one reason, and that is you haven't got the right to work. You're working illegally.
Yes, because they're asylum seekers, they're not allowed to work. Now, what's the problem here? He's saying that the problem is that people are not paying taxes. But who's not paying taxes? Because the person who has the account is paying the taxes because they're making an income. The person who's actually doing the work is not paying the taxes. Now, the problem here is not really the asylum seeker or the person who's allowing somebody else to use their account. I don't know if that's illegal or not. But the problem is that asylum seekers are not allowed to work. They want to work. This is the big problem I have with the likes of Reform UK and the right wing. They'll say that asylum seekers are lazy, they're living off the state, they don't want to work. Here is examples of them wanting to work, doing work that obviously British people don't want to do, because if the British people wanted to do the work, they would just do it. They're saying, okay, I can actually get somebody else to do the work for me, and I can make money out of this. And Richard Tice and Reform UK's problem is with the asylum seekers, not the people who are actually giving out these accounts. Look, it's always the asylum seekers' fault.
And what happens on the tax basis then?
They pay no tax.
But who's getting?
So what's happening is
who is not paying tax? Because the person who's doing the work obviously isn't paying tax because they're not working legally. But somebody is paying tax, the owner of the account. Like, if the owner of the account actually did the work, they'd pay the taxes. If the owner of the account didn't do the work, they'd still pay the taxes. I don't understand why he has a problem with this.
The bank account of the person with the lawful account, they get paid through the delivery companies, and then they meet up with the person who's actually done it, the illegal migrant, and they pay them their percentage that they've earned.
They're not illegal migrants, they're asylum seekers. Because if they were migrants, they would be working, they would be paying taxes through the normal system. But they're doing this because there's no other way. They're not allowed to work. Like, a reasonable person, if Richard Tice was a reasonable person, he would say, what we need to do is we need to change the system so that asylum seekers can work. There are a lot of them who want to work. Obviously, they want to work because they're doing these jobs that British people don't want to do. They would pay taxes. They would help contribute. But it's not just about delivering food. They could be working with skills that they've had, what they've gained from their home countries. A lot of them are doctors, engineers. These doctors, engineers, people who could work in the NHS, where the NHS is crying out for staff. And you have the likes of Reform UK and the Conservatives saying, no, we don't want these people working.
Here's the thing, though. What it's doing is it's depressing the wages of British workers who were previously doing this work.
No, it's not. They're not doing the work. How is it suppressing wages when the wage hasn't changed? Deliveroo or whoever is not changing the wage because somebody is offloading the responsibility onto somebody else. How is this suppressing wages? Like, I'm trying to get my head around how could this actually suppress wages when the work is being done? Doesn't matter who's doing it. Like, this isn't a case of they're competing with the British workers. The British workers are saying, we don't want to do this job. I have this account. I don't do the work. I found somebody else who'll do the work. How is that suppressing wages?
So I spoke to someone who was earning 170, 180 pounds a day. A migrant hotel suddenly arrives in the town, and all of a sudden, the migrants are doing this job, and the rate per day plummets to about £50 a day. So the British workers are basically saying, well, it's not worth my while. I might as well sign on benefits.
Now, I don't believe for a second somebody who's earning £150 a day, really £150 a day doing deliveries? They wouldn't go somewhere else to do the deliveries. They'd say, no, I'm going to go on benefits instead. Now, I don't see that how this would plummet so quickly. But even if it were the case, asylum seekers, who is the problem here? The problem is not the asylum seeker, it's the person who's giving out the account. Your issue should be with the people who are giving out these accounts, not the asylum seekers.
Completely unfair because, of course, these people, they pay no tax, they've got no costs. So within a couple of weeks of arriving, they're buying an electric bike so they can deliver faster. It's a huge industry-wide scandal. And the delivery companies, they know it's going on, and yet they allow it to carry on. They know they've deliberately set up these substitute accounts, but there should be no need.
Then your solution should be to crack down on the companies or crack down on the accounts. Say that the only people who can use these accounts are people who are actively using the bikes or actually actively using doing deliveries. Why is it always the asylum seekers' fault?
For any substitute accounts. If that's your chosen work, then you can set up an account legally within a matter of a week.
Well,
why wouldn't you?
But the people are not doing this. The asylum seekers are not doing this because they're not allowed to set up these accounts because they don't have addresses. They don't have bank accounts. They're technically not non-persons until they become refugees, until they move from asylum seeker status to refugee status. Then they can set up accounts and open bank accounts and all of this. But notice here, the problem is the asylum seekers themselves. That's what they're trying to push here. Not the companies, not the people who have these accounts who don't want to actually do the work. It's the asylum seekers. It's always the asylum seekers who are the problem. This is the issue that Reform UK have been pushing. And unfortunately, people at GB News as well. No pushback, as you can see. No, wait a minute, Richard, what are you talking about? Don't you know that asylum seekers are not allowed to work? How do we resolve this? Allow asylum seekers to work. Be part of the legal system. Then you would remove this problem overnight. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.